Sure. My name is Jakob Schoen. I was a research student of Dr. Peterson's from 2012 to 2016. I'm speaking about this because, as with many other victims of abuse, I'm seeking justice by making my voice heard. I worked with him closely during this time, seeing him every few weeks, sometimes for 10 minutes, sometimes for longer. But we met regularly, independently from other research students, and focused on a specific project: sex differences. I also wrote to him many letters, meanwhile encouraging him to distribute his contents more publicly. I wrote to him about the current oppressive climate of leftist academia. You see this echoed in his most recent speeches, though he will claim credit for that all for himself. By 2016, Dr. Peterson took on another graduate student. While extremely disappointed, as I devoted an exorbitant amount of time as a research student developing a project that was not finished, I did not believe he was in the wrong to make the decision that he did. I went on to a more prestigious university to do 2 more masters. They were incredibly expensive, but thank God we were given the resources to do it at the time. I'm currently a PhD student in one of these institutions. However, as I'm coming to understand my own co-evolution with narcissism through my conversion into a religion which I see to be the opposite, which is Judaism, I'm coming to the awareness that I was taken advantage of as an undergraduate student. This led the University of Toronto to enter into an internal dialogue about the abuse of labor in supervisors, but nothing was done to correct the situation. The charge I have against him are twofold. Number 1, Dr. Peterson did not make any attribution for the work that I did for him leading up to 2017. If you recall, in 2016-2017, he began his crusade against gender pronouns, Bill C-16, in which he drew on endogenous theories of sex differences. This, I believe, with certainty, drew on the work that I did for him and ideas that I shared with him. Marxists may call this an alienation of the production of labor, and it's hypocritical that he condemns Marxism while being guilty of some of the faults of capitalism with his own workers. Number 2, the amount of time that I devoted to the project was way beyond that normally expected for a student trying to earn course credits. I spent every moment of my waking life on that project without compensation. This, I believe, is an unfair abuse of labor, and I'm now going to seek rectification. I've been trying to resolve this issue with Dr. Peterson personally, but he's mostly been unresponsive. When I threatened to cut out all his ties, when I threatened to cut all ties from him a few months ago, he then began responding. He complained about the overwhelming pressures he faces at home, but he did not address the issue. This retaliation at the threat of no contact may be, to me, the first clear sign of narcissism that I detected in him since I began recovering from narcissistic abuse. It fits in with a pattern of love bombing when the victim tries to leave. Most recently, I made the rather simple request again to give me recognition, even in private, for the work that launched his popularity. Still nothing. The university, thank God, will continue to pursue the case, but I would certainly be wary of forming a close relationship with him, whether through reading his books, listening to his lectures, or even emotional investment with a person such as him. I would stop short in saying he's a narcissist, but he is certainly not beyond predating the vulnerable and taking their livelihood. He has caused me tremendous pain, and I can hardly conduct research now without being blinded by the same sense of betrayal and hypocrisy that culminated in my 4 years of close working relationship with him. Do you really want a hero who stole from and is willing to step on his students, his followers?